just as we predicted, Diddy's prosecutors abandoned multiple allegations against rapper days before trial's end.
Oh, you're joking.
You didn't know this, Kurt?
I've been saying it nonstop and commenting it, but I have to tell you, I was hoping that I would be wrong and silly, and you'd go, see, Kurt, you're just a silly guy. And no, it was right.
No, we were correct. Let's see, is this going to play a commercial first? Yes. Okay. Let me read some of the story. The government, here it is. Sean Diddy Combs prosecutors indicated they are not pursuing several allegations against the rapper that pertain to the racketeering charge just days before closing arguments are set to begin. The government indicated in a letter to the judge filed Tuesday and obtained by Fox News Digital that the theories of attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking will not be pursued. So, in other words, the biggest charges. That's what it sounds like to me, right? The biggest charges are not going to be pursued. That's what it sounds like to me. The government understands the court's desire for streamlined instructions. With that in mind, the government has suggested ways to streamline those instructions. And one of those ways to streamline it, just drop the most important charges.
Yeah.
And so you do remember that the prosecutor is James Comey's daughter.
What's her name? I keep calling her Janet, and that's wrong. That's what was misinformation. I keep saying Janet. It's not Janet.
Specifically, the government has removed instructions from the charges relating to attempted kidnapping under both California and New York law, attempted arson under California law, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. The government is no longer planning to proceed on these theories of liability, so instructions are no longer necessary. You gotta be kidding.
You know I said it a lot, but I don't believe. It's like I believe this, but I don't believe it because it's so ridiculous, But then it's real, like every time.
There are no charges being dropped, the West Coast trial lawyer's co-founder said. The prosecution's legal theories are essentially the same. The government is no longer pursuing the attempted kidnapping and attempted arson as predicate acts for racketeering, but they can still argue that the completed kidnapping of Casey Ventura and Capricorn Clark and completed arson of Kid Cudi's vehicle are RICO acts. The same applies to the sex trafficking counts. The government is arguing that Combs sex trafficked the victims, not that he aided and abetted others to do so. They're simplifying the charges for the jury. This doesn't really change anything.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
No, nothing. Well, except for those two major charges that would have implicated other people in on the networking, much like the Epstein thing, which Comey's daughter also presided over. She was at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Remember?
Yes.
So as soon as that dingbat was in charge, that Manchurian fake candidate prosecutor, she's there doing cleanup. That's James Comey's daughter,
Maureen Comey.
Maureen.
Diddy's defense allegedly planned to invoke the Iran conflict during closing arguments, according to TMZ. The government seemingly objected to the strategy after court. What? Given that the attorneys who will be giving summations won't be here tomorrow, I wanted to put something on the record that I hope will not be necessary, but my hope is that we don't have to object during defense summation. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey said, I really don't want to do that. So I just want to put on the record that we think it would be objectionable and crossing a line for any summation to bring up politics or current events or the propriety of this prosecution and the use of government resources. I would hope that Mr. Agnifilio would not cross over those lines. But I just want to say that if he did, I would object in the middle of his summation and ask the court to instruct the jury to disregard any comments like that. So I wanted to state that in advance of summation and the hope that that is not necessary. So she's trying to make sure that the prosecution noted that this issue has been brought up in one of the government's motions in liming? I don't know what that word means. I believe at that time there was an agreement by the defense not to engage in any of that type of argument, Judge Subremian said. But Mr. Agnifilo, anything to worry about here? Nothing to worry about, Judge, Diddy's defense lawyer Mark Agnafilo responded. Both the prosecution and Combs' defense wrapped up their respective cases Tuesday after 6 weeks of testimony. The defense did not call any witnesses to the stand and instead presented evidence they claim proves inconsistent statements. So they didn't call any witnesses. Diddy's defense lawyer didn't call any witnesses.
Yeah, so that's how you know he was deeply involved in the government, because if Diddy's lawyer called witnesses, I'll bet people close to Maureen Comey would have to be named. You heard her little dumb speech, and then I would deny it if they ever said anything, because Diddy works for the network that Epstein worked for and Hugh Hefner worked for. They've been doing this for many years, and they're never, ever, ever going to hurt national security, which is why they did this.
Combs' defense team immediately moved for a judgment of acquittal before resting their case. Attorney Alexandra Shapiro argued the government failed to prove the counts against the rapper. Okay. The jury spent the last 6 weeks hearing testimony from Combs' ex-girlfriends, ex-employees, and witnesses involved in the investigation. The prosecution used the testimony to show that Combs already ran a criminal enterprise through his businesses, including Combs Digital. Allegedly, not already. He allegedly ran a criminal enterprise. According to testimony, the rapper had his personal assistant set up hotel rooms for freak-offs or hotel nights. The ex-employee who took the stand also testified they often procured drugs for the rapper. These drugs, including MDMA, cocaine, ecstasy, were then used by Combs and his ex-girlfriends during the allegedly forced sexual sessions involving male escorts. The prosecution argued. That is so weird. That is weird for a dude to hire. Casey Ventura, who dated Combs from 2007 to 2018. Holy F. And the rapper's most recent ex-girlfriend both took the stand during the 6 weeks of testimony. Casey and Jane testified under a pseudonym, claimed they were introduced to freak-offs or hotel nights shortly after beginning their relationship with Combs. Wow.
The title of this video should be called Kurt Called It.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anybody remembers, but I called it. I said, I wish I didn't say Janet. That would have made it sweeter. It's Maureen.
Yeah.
But he's either gonna walk, I said, or if he gets convicted, much like Dr. Cosby, it will be overturned. Because as Dave Chappelle made a funny joke, how the hell you got a RICO case with one guy in it?
Oh, right.
Yeah, Janet Comey. So they were only prosecuting him under that, going across state lines thing that the FBI made up to bust that black boxer for dating a white woman.
Yeah.
They were only using the trafficking law in the loosest, most nonsensical, bad way. Okay? Look, Discovery's going to come out. Diddy has stuff on everyone. That's why he ain't going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Diddy didn't plead. Everyone's like, why isn't Diddy pleading? He's going away forever. And I said, have faith in Maureen Comey. Have faith. She'll get it done.
So it looks like the fix is in, just like with the Epstein. That's right. They trafficked all these underage girls to nobody. And in the Epstein case, there were no Johns. Nobody ever prosecuted. No Bill Clinton, no Bill Gates, no Hollywood comedians.
So why did they do this prosecution in the first place?
So that's
a humiliation ritual for Diddy, and they were like mulling over probably whether to kill him, but they won't. He's got something on him. He got spanked by Diageo for suing them. That's what the start of this. So not anyone caring.
So he had a tequila company, right? Is that it?
Cîroc's the vodka, and he didn't own it. People didn't seem to know that, but he didn't own it. A British company called Diageo that owns Guinness and Jameson, all the liquor. The fake name Diageo. It's not Italian. They made it up. He sued them for racism because he said they didn't plant his agave for his tequila because he's jealous of Clooney. Yeah, his CIA tequila made him a billionaire, but Diddy did make that brand really good. And then he finds out Diageo is screwing him and not planting the agave for the tequila, so he sued for racism. And you know what? Let's credit Diddy. That's probably exactly what it was. But because he did that, that bit the hand that fed him. And they're not going to tolerate that. So this is to put him back in his place. And the part where they dismissed those charges and everybody was following this, I blared 3 years about this. That's to put you in your place. We're not looking into it anymore. Maureen Comey, daughter, cleanup artist for the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Oh, look what happened. The same thing.
Okay. There you go. Okay, that's the wrap up with Kurt Metzger.
That's the derp with Kerp.
Hey, are you looking for a natural way to promote and maintain your liver health? I found a clinically supported, potent, and effective solution, and I can't wait to share it with you. Dore for your liver was formulated to cleanse your liver of unwanted elements, aid digestion, and maintain your body's filter. Why does this matter? Well, your liver is your second largest organ in your body, and it's responsible for over 500 functions. It acts as your body's filter, flushing out unwanted elements and breaking down what you consume into essential nutrients. In a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial, Dore for your liver lowered liver enzyme levels by 50% in over 86% of the participants. Just one dose for your liver shot is equivalent to 17 shots of turmeric juice. But it's so delicious, you'll want to have more. And let me tell you something, it is delicious. I swear to God, it's one of the most delicious drinks I've ever had in my life. And you can save 30% on your first month of subscription. Go to dosedaily.co/Dore or enter Dore at checkout. That's DOSEDAILY.co/DORE for 30% off your first month subscriptions. Come see us live on tour in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Alberta, Calgary, Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.